Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing amazing as always, and it's me as always. And today I want to talk about my favorite horror movie of 2022 so far. Now obviously I don't know if this is gonna be the best horror movie of 2022, but I still have a lot of movies that I'm expecting to be good. I mean, you have The Black Phone, you have Jordan Peele's Nope, you have the remake of The Salem Slot, and you obviously have Halloween Ends. So this might not end up being the best horror movie of 2022, but I think it's gonna be up there, you know, maybe even in my top 3 best horror movies of 2022. I'm obviously talking about X. X was directed and written by Ty West, and the cast in this movie is Mia Goth as Maxine, Jenna Ortega as Lorraine, Brittany Snow as Bobby Lynn, Kid Cudi as Jackson, Martin Henderson as Wayne, and others. Listen, I heard so much hype about X. A lot of people were recommending this to me. They were saying like, "Hey, you gotta see this. This is just like the coolest horror movie in a good few years." And so I finally checked it out. So I haven't seen it when it released in theaters. So I saw it yesterday on my TV, right? So, and I was blown away by this movie. This is really a fantastic movie. Now, listen, the story of this movie is fairly simple. You have essentially a porn producer, his girlfriend, played by Mia Goth, then you have the cameraman and his girlfriend, and then you have one porn star, and his name is obviously Jackson, played by Kid Cudi. And this cast is incredible. These characters are incredibly good. They're not acting like your typical stereotypical characters, horror characters from 70s and 80s. Also, this movie takes place in the late 70s in Texas, so that's also good to mention. But these characters are not acting in a stereotypical manner. They actually are like really well written characters. I have to give credit to Ty West for doing such a good script. And so you have these characters, and they are traveling to Texas, to like really rural Texas, because this producer guy has a deal with this old guy that has like this big property, and they essentially made a deal that they gonna rent some kind of like a wooden shed to shoot porn there, right? So that's sort of their deal, and they go there, but the old guy is really weird, and his old wife, is even weirder, and you can just immediately feel that there's something off to this whole thing, right? And it is because like one of the weird scenes in the first act is like when the Mia Goth's character is sort of checking out their house, and the old lady comes up to her and she sort of touches her hand, and like she essentially wants to fuck her, right? But Mia Goth's character is like, I don't want to fuck you, you know, I don't want to, right? And this was such a weird scene. And so the first act is really beautiful. This movie really feels like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, the first one. The cinematography is just stunning at times. I was like, this is a really well shot movie. This movie looks amazing to me. And to probably many others, right? So the cinematography is absolutely stunning, and the first act is mainly about, shooting the actual porn and stuff around it, right? But you also have some of these scenes with that old lady and that old guy in the house. And when the sun goes down, that's when the shit gets real. And I mean it, because this movie gets absolutely brutal with its kills, with essentially everything that it does. So you essentially have like the first kill in the movie is really brutal, and you have the camera guy, and you essentially have the cameraman, because he's angry that his girlfriend, played by Jenna Ortega, that she actually did a scene in that porn, and he's like really mad about it. So he's like, "Fuck y'all, I'm leaving. I'm getting out of here." So he starts this when, and he almost gets out, but he's stopped by the old lady, and the old lady is like, you're never getting out." And she stabs him like 40 times. And if you like the song "Don't Fear the Reaper," which is kind of like a good song, I actually love that song. So when I've heard it in the movie, I was like, "Oh, this is getting good." But then, he's getting like stabbed over and over again. It's brutal, and it just grabs you, and the song is just keep playing. The song keeps playing, and it's very brutal and just cool and just amazing. And I really like that scene, and that's where all the madness begins. And then you have so many other good scenes. For example, when the Jackson character essentially goes out and he meets the old guy, right? And they talk about that Jackson is essentially a Vietnam veteran, and then they sort of talk, but you can just feel that something is off. And yeah, then essentially he gets just pushed to the lake where some alligators live, and they kill him. So you have a lot of really just batshit crazy scenes in the second and in the third act. The one scene that was also like really really weird was with the Mia Goth's character. She's essentially sleeping, and the old lady just goes into her bed, and she essentially lays next to her, like right next to her, and you can just her, like she's trying to like I don't like rape her or something. I was like, this is so fucking weird. This is so weird, and it's so uncomfortable to actually watch that scene. And it's just like Ty West did an amazing job with this movie again. Some of these scenes are just really really weird and fucked up and so amazing at the same time. And then you have the third act when you would expect that like the sort of the girl that's like the least sort of corrupted with this sort of like pornography, and the girl that talks that essentially never talks, which is the Jenna Ortega's character, that character would survive in an actual 70s or 80s horror movie. Here she gets killed, and with a shotgun, right? And Mia Goth's character is actually the one that survives this massacre, and I believe that she kills the old lady with she runs her over with the van like several times, and her head just splashes all over, and she drives towards the sunset, and then the movie's over. Wow, there's so many good scenes in this movie, and I absolutely love this movie. I love the music. The score is amazing. The cinematography, I've already talked about it, but it's so good. This is how the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake should have been. Like, if you would replace the old guy with Leatherface, you would have like a A+ Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. But again, as like a standalone movie, X is fucking amazing. This movie is brutal, bloody. There are many other kills in this movie that are absolutely brutal. This movie just slaps so much. This movie is really really good. I enjoyed the characters. I think the characters in this movie are great. The cinematography is beautiful. You can just see the graininess and sort of stuff like that. It just works so well. The characters are really well written, and I think that Ty West did an amazing job on this movie, and I love this movie actually. And again, that's why I think it's still gonna be the best horror movie for me at the end of the year. Yeah, so that's that for today. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one, and take care as always, and bye.